Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Thursday night Dodgers talk, off day Dodgers talk for you if you're nasty, and it's a fun one lined up for you. We're talking about the Dodgers and their pretty good start, 8-0, historic stuff, all of that, yada yada, more general Dodgers talk, things we like, things we don't like Freddie Freeman going on the IL, all of that kind of stuff, and more on another edition of the All Dodgers podcast here. Let's go ahead and bring in my guy, Kevin Skinner there. I got to push the buttons in a certain order because things will get wonky. But first, Kev, how you doing before we welcome in our buddy Scotty Geirman coming back to the great internet machine? We're going to talk to him in just a second. But, Kev, how you doing?
Good. It's one of the few times day off, so the Dodgers can't win. Not used to always saying that. And the Raiders actually made a good signing, or at least a good extension with Geno Smith. So, like, I don't know. It's a weird football win for me. I don't get many of those these days.
We'll give you that. And it's a win for everybody because we got this man. We got this man joining us. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, our buddy, Gritty Scotty, back from being a dad, really. He's being a dad. He's not back. He's not retired from being a dad. He's semi-retired from the internet, but he's still watching ball, and he's got a lot of things he's enjoying about this team so far over the first 8 games of the season. But, Scott, how you doing, bud?
Doing well, man. Guys, Kevin, Clint, it's good to be here. It's great to chat. It's good to see you. Fun time to be. I've been doing some appearances on some shows, so I'm around. We're enjoying some time. We're grinding. We have got some ferocious 8-year-olds on a softball field that I'm working with. I am a very big intentional time guy, so I am working hard on that front. I am not out here in the lounge chair. I'm 32. We're not retired yet. We got many years to go for that, but we're enjoying it. This is a hell of a time to be a fan, man. Again, I said that last year, but this is see what do we expect? See what we expect.
Yeah, I mean, we could we could jump off from there because usually teams don't go out, and quite literally, usually teams don't go out because this is a record-setting start to the season. But you don't go out, win a World Series, and then start your season as good, as hot as this team has. But this team just somehow pulling all the right levers, even when the right levers aren't being pulled, like we saw early in the game yesterday. Ugly display of baseball for the Dodgers early in the early throws of it, but somehow ho-hum, you come back, put up 6 unanswered, and walk it off on Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night. I'm just going to throw that out to either of you guys. Kev, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the kind of shoddy defense we saw, just an unclean brand of baseball in the first couple of innings, but then they washed it away. That's an important thing.
Yeah, it's not often you could, have your starter leave after 4 innings of 5 unearned runs of baseball and still squeak out a W like we saw. Yeah, that was we talked about it in the Discord, kind of blame us a little bit for talking about how Max Muncy's defense wasn't too bad and Andy Pages was like looking a little better. And like immediately just like shoved their foot in our mouths because, oh my God, there are issues.
Scott, do you get that? Did you get that a lot last year? The second you start saying good things, everything just sort of unravels, or do you have better luck than we do?
Oh, I mean, I assume that everybody in my life has a group chat with people from opposing fan bases that are ready to pounce it all. And the second that I saw it I missed the first few innings. And then the next thing I know, it's down 5-0. And they were like, how the Dodgers doing? I said, there's no game today. There's just no game today. I heard Max Muncy booted some balls. And then the second I tune in, I was just like, man, this is like one of those things, guys, where if it's happening, we go 0 to 100. There's no he made a few bad plays. It's if Max Muncy's booting balls at third base, you're like, oh, Max.
Yeah.
Buddy, this offseason wasn't good enough. You need to change a whole bunch of things. It's just how it is. So, yeah, man, I mean, it was that triggered me yesterday. I won't lie. Once I heard 2 errors, like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, no, again, very, very unclean game. And for Max, for what it's worth for him, he owned it. He was real pissed at himself for taking Snell out of rhythm there. we've seen the growth of Max Muncy as a third baseman over the last couple of years. He takes a lot of pride in that position. Slimmed down further this past off season. Now, I asked him about it too. It's like, is the hope to get more range, kind of get a little bit better on the defensive side? He's like already defending himself. He's like, hey, listen, you look at my numbers. I've already one of the best third basemen in baseball. It's more about my health and being around. Some of the reasons he dropped to 17 pounds. But then you're wondering, hey, maybe the start of the season hitting a buck, not even a buck. We're hitting a $120 right now, but maybe have a couple of burgers, have a couple of shots in there. You can get your season going again. But we just kind of jumped into it, guys. We should say I'm Clint. That's Scott in the middle. The other guy is Kevin Skinner. We've all written about your Dodgers. We've all talked about your Dodgers online here. So we know a little bit about what we're talking about sometimes, and other times we don't, but we have fun doing it here on the internet. I want to ask you to like the show, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We'd appreciate it if you could be one of them. We do have a super chat from our buddy Seth Klein appreciating Kevin's hat. Kevin likes the hat. I like Scotty's hat. That's a good hat right there.
I like Scotty's hat too. That thing is awesome.
I like my hat, by the way. Oh, look at that. Branding,
there you
baby.
Go.
Branding.
There you go.
For those wondering, I saw Miggy Rowe wear this hat, and I had to find it. So.
He did. He went to the internet, and he had people go ahead and help him find that hat, and he got that quick. But that's not exciting for anybody to talk about. Let's talk about something else that's a little less exciting. Freddie Freeman going to the 10-day injured list. Not at all super surprising because, listen, he tweaked his surgically repaired ankle in the shower. We don't know what was going on there. Maybe some hanky-panky with Mrs. Freddie Freeman or something like that while the kids are away. Yeah, I'm throwing that into the ethos here. It's 8 p.m. on a Thursday night. We're going to have some fun, but the move is retroactive to March 31st, so he can return from the IL a little bit sooner. But with that said, hey, the Dodgers have a spot on this roster to fill. They have some names that we don't like. We have some names that we'd really love to see on the roster. Somebody like, let's say a Dalton Rushing. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be Dalton Rushing. He's not on the 40-man. Yeah. But throwing some names out here. Hesong Kim, James Outman, Hunter Fiducia, the other kid, guy they just picked up, Esteri Ruiz, or however you say it. Eddie Rosario, not on the 40-man. Scotty, who do you think makes the most sense for this roster right now if we're filling up some space for Freddie for a couple of days?
Man, I mean, we could dive into such a bigger conversation about, Phil and Freddie Freeman. I think Kike Hernandez and Max Muncy, if they wanted to slide, Max over there sometimes. But I feel like Kike Hernandez just has kind of a hold on that. I would prefer, I know that Max has had that, had the game yesterday. But I would prefer to just keep him at the hot corner, keep him right there. Don't like shifting him around. I feel like he's someone that you just kind of have to leave at one spot. He can hold first base, but Kike is incredibly athletic. He looks good over there. I like what he does. But this conversation, we won't shift it there. We can do kind of a teaser. Honestly, in this interim time, I think they could use this as an opportunity to say, Andy Pages, what's going on, man? Can we bring somebody up? Can we work on something with center field? Can we mix in, how are we going to get Tommy Edman more into a fold here? I know a lot of people like Tommy Edman at second base. But we brought Tommy Edman in. He can play multiple positions. The one thing that I know that we can do is put him in center field. But ultimately, Clint, Kevin, I can't believe I'm saying this, and a lot of people in chat that have listened to me for a bit, I'm not the biggest James Outman fan. But I think they need to find a way to stabilize center field defense for just a little bit because we know how potent this offense is. They just got to find a way to figure that center field out so they can use this as some time to get someone up to who can possibly remedy that spot with a glove. Offensive upside, Pages can hit, but they're putting him in not very advantageous spots playing against both sides. So just to answer your question, I think they can use this as an opportunity to try out some other guys to remedy center field.
Kevin, any thoughts?
That was my answer. I know people probably
come on.
People okay, so like if thinking about it, people who want Hunter Fiducia, he's not going to get any playing time because he's a catcher. So that's not going to happen. And they've already shown their reluctance to even let him pick up the bat. Apparently, I don't know what he has against or what Dave has against him. It's Matt Beatty 2.0. His son Kim, he needs more time at the AAA level. He's doing better. He's putting up better results the last few days. So leave him there for a little bit. Eddie Rosario, not on the 40-man roster. Estuary Ruiz, I've no idea what they're gonna do with him. That was kind of an out of nowhere.
I told you, man. This year's Terrence Gore, man. You got to have that speedy dude just laying around. Back pocket speedy dude. You can't even field, really. He's what? Like negative 20, what is it? Run saved, defensive run saved, something like that. He's really bad.
Just go and get it.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's not good.
He's not good.
And so that leaves James Outman. And I think with it's not even just the defense. It's the big concern with Pages too is his base running is really bad, and it hasn't gotten any better. And it's just, you don't want to overreact to too many things early in the season, but this is an issue that we've known about. He's had an off season to try and correct it, to literally look up as he's rounding second base. I've never played baseball at a high level, but like, I can't imagine it's that difficult to just look up and, listen to Dino Evil, but he has shown that he can't do that. And he was like very fortuitous he wasn't gunned down at third base, because not only was it a bad decision, it was a horrible slide into third.
Yeah.
Like, it's just none of the problems have been fixed. And I think you got to give Outman a look. You're going to play the Phillies. You have two lefties coming up. There's going to be a righty mixed in there. That's a good opportunity for Outman to just get a game, maybe give Andy Pages a breather, if the defensive struggles continue. But also one thing, that the roster doesn't have kind of an outfield, like a good outfield replacement, really. In the years past, you've had guys like Jason Hayward, who at the bare minimum can come in the late situation and just, give you a glove. We don't have that. And this is something we talked about coming out of spring training, is that outfield defense. It's a little scary at times. So having Outman on the roster at least gives you that.
I mean, we know we like Kike in center. We know we like Tommy Edman in center. We know we used to like Chris Taylor in center. It's been a while. But those guys are infielders right now. And Chris Taylor's not really anything. He's just kind of here because he has to be, and they have a roster spot they don't mind wasting. But, it's funny. Kevin and I were talking before going live, and I'm all in on the Hunter Freducia idea just because I'm tired of the kid being buried. I'm tired of seeing Austin Barnes start a game and then we have to leave his bat in until late in the innings. When we saw Will Smith come off the bench late and make a difference in that game where Mookie Betts eventually hit the walk-off homer. This is a team I feel right now is built for three catchers, and to give Hunter Freducia any sort of playing time, any sort of opportunity at the big league level, dude's earned it. Dude's posting a 1 dot at AAA right now, still buried behind Dalton Rushing. The end is near for Austin Barnes. Of course, he's going to be on this roster. He's going to be on the team for the rest of the season. But to start looking at, what does Dave tell us all the time? It's a meritocracy. You should be able to earn your way to playing time, but we haven't seen that. And Scott, all three of us were talking about this a number of times last year, like with dudes at AAA just getting straight up buried. Cody Hosey should have had an opportunity. Andre Lipsius at different points could have had an opportunity. And now Hunter Freducia, very much deserving of an opportunity, probably not going to get it because as much as I can't say I hate to agree with you guys. I do agree to see what one of these dudes can do, an outfield type. If Outman found something coming back to the big league level, maybe it's Haesung Kim, who started at short tonight, I think, at OKC, but he could play some second. He can play some center field as well, or at least they'll put him in the outfield. Having somebody that could be, I don't want to say an heir apparent, but an answer to Andy Pages, because what we saw on Wednesday night was the microcosm of everything that can be wrong with Andy Pages' game. A bad route or a bad read, whatever it is, bad defense or bad base running, just those type of things that add up to an already ugly picture that the Dodgers were putting together defensively. I don't know. I would ask this question now. Scrolling a little ahead on what I wanted to talk about on today's show. If we're IDing the weak points for this team, center field, the outlook there, is Andy Pages a championship caliber center fielder? Scott, thoughts?
Is my thing frozen? I feel like it looks like my camera's frozen on my
Oh, he has been frozen.
Nobody said a word. Let me rejoin.
I thought he was just really interested in chat.
He's going to bounce. At least we were able to hear him there for a second. That's the wrong button as well. Let's go to that one until we get. Well, Kevin, you take the question for now.
No. The answer is it's in short, no. He's not a championship caliber center fielder. He might be technically a major league caliber center fielder, as in he can play center field at the major league level, but no, he should not be the everyday starter center fielder on the Los Angeles Dodgers, a championship caliber team. They need somebody else who can play defense where,
there we go.
You get those, or like when the ball was hit to Gavin Lux when he was playing shortstop last year. I have the same palpitations whenever the ball's hit to center field. It's like, oh my God, is he gonna be able to hit? Like, is he gonna be able to catch this? He grades better, much better as a right fielder. He's got a cannon of an arm. It's a lot easier to read. I'd like to see him get opportunities there, but that's just not going to happen, at least right now, not this year. Michael Conforto is a dog, and Teoscar Hernandez continue. I don't know if we can give him more money, but we consider it.
Extend him further. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, extend him further. Just keep it going. But no, I don't think Andy Paz should be at least the everyday starter on this team. It's too much, I think.
All right, Scott, with the working screen, working video there.
There we go.
What do you think about the center field then issues here for your Dodgers while they're trying to run it back?
Yeah, so let's make some sense of this. Let's talk this out to help it make sense. I see everybody bringing up Ha-Seong Kim. Like, that was someone that I was carrying the lunch pail for right before the season, saying that he deserves a spot, deserves to start. And, that was the direction that I believed was a good thing. But if the organization believed that it would be okay to give him some time there, put that clause into his contract to allow for that to be a thing, great. I've been keeping tabs with him in AAA. He's logged, I think, two full games. I think when I checked yesterday, I think he's got 18 innings playing in center field. Mm-hmm. And he is definitely finding extra base power. He's not going to be a home run hitter, but he's a gap-to-gap guy. He's going to put the ball in spots where he's going to press the defense. And the thing, now let's talk about Andy Pages. I had someone to say to me about Andy Pages saying, oh, he's got a cannon. I know, Kevin and Clint, you guys, one of you just said that he has a cannon, right?
Yeah.
That's not something I necessarily want my center fielder to be. That's his calling card. I would be totally happy if it's, someone who can just go and get it. Make sure you make the surefire plays. The got to be outs. The stuff that's there, you just got to go up and get it. That's not Andy Pages. We saw him get turned around, go up, miss a ball, misplay it. That allows extra bases, runs. He's a corner outfielder. He's definitely a corner outfielder. You can mask that for some time, but ball don't lie. When you put someone in a tough spot, Major League Baseball is a game that's you put in the work, you'll get stuff out of it. But eventually you regress to the mean, and those issues show themselves. So with Andy Pages, the issues are showing themselves. Currently, he's playing way too much against righties. He needs to be a platoon guy. And if they're giving some time just to give Ha-Seong Kim, get his feet wet out there, if that's a spot for him and they feel like you can play second base, play center field, do you know how many boxes that checks? It just, I don't want Kim to be a platoon guy, but until he feels comfortable at the dish, I would have no problem putting him out in center field in a platoon thing with Andy Pages and Ha-Seong Kim. That's the way that I see it currently.
Now that brings us to one of the issues or one of the concerns I had kind of leading into Japan, which is and honestly leading into spring training. The roster is built in a way where they're kind of hamstrung. It's like, and it comes down to Chris Taylor. It's Chris Taylor being on this roster. He doesn't make sense if they're not going to play him. It's literally just a dead roster spot right now. The Dodgers are playing with 25-man roster plus a bonus dude who gets to just kind of hang. And if he's not on the roster, then you have Kim. You have an opportunity to have Kim up there or even James Outman. So at least you do have somebody that can be a plus defender in center field. He offers something to this team. Kim offers a different look to this team. And like you said, he's kind of, the average isn't really there, but he's somehow tearing the cover off the ball. The OPS has been pretty so far. Small sample size of AAA, but 3 doubles, a triple heading into play tonight. Obviously, we're not gonna DFA Chris Taylor here tonight, gentlemen. But that's gonna remain an issue for this team, and if they do get afford themselves this opportunity to see what that looks like, having a Kim around by using this Freddie Freeman injury and opportunity to bring up that, somebody else on the roster, maybe that is the best call for them. I kind of don't know where to go from here outside of reading Kenny Chung. I love his comment.
I got you.
I don't know if I love, but I agree with Kenny's comment here saying low baseball IQ sums up Pages. And I think it's both unfair and fair. He's still young, 23, 24 now. But we need to see improvement on this version of the Los Angeles Dodgers. This isn't, 2021 team. This isn't a 2016 team. This is a team that's expecting to go out there and win multiple titles, fill up Mookie Betts' hand with rings and all of that. And they're not going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that with Pages starting every single day against all handers, like you guys are saying.
Not a chance. And the thing that I'll say is that offense outweighs a lot. If you are just a flat out slugger and you are producing runs at a higher rate than you are allowing runs or making those bonehead mistakes, that will take care of itself. In reference to, I see everybody in chat bringing up Chris Taylor. He is on a race to hitting his 10-year service time. And that is a countdown that I actually do have bookmarked on my phone. I love Chris Taylor for what he's given the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's just at a point where it's, what we looked at last year, guys, is that, Clint, you just referenced it. It's a roster that has so many guys that are veteran status. They don't have optionality there where they can just call up, send somebody down. They can just DFA someone. They could DFA Chris Taylor, but the Dodgers are a classy organization who respect players. And that's something that I love about them. But in this case, it puts them in a spot where you can't just bring somebody up if you wanted to. They have specific needs. We've seen this process play out last year prior to the trade deadline, where they just had so much mid and nobody separating themselves, and without the ability to really DFA someone because of injuries and also sub-performance. Now you have those corner spots remedied. You have the infield options that you like to go with. Kike, Tommy Edman, you've got Conforto, you've got your platoons hammered out, I believe.
Yeah.
The last thing they need to do is find someone to complement Andy Pages so we don't put him in this spot where he's playing every day. And yes, I'll say it. If he only had a brain, Andy Pages would be a stellar ball player because he's aggressive. He's aggressive. He can crush lefties, which helps out the Dodgers so much. He was one of the best hitters against lefties last year. He's just making way too many mistakes. And I was about, just give him the reps and stuff like that. He did it on the biggest stage. They trusted him in the World Series. So it says something. Maybe they just didn't have a better option. But right now, it's that maybe they do have a better option. They do have a better option. And I'm just going to flat out say it. Acquiring Ruiz for an actual guy in Duran, like that says a lot about what they think about James Outman and his outlook there. That's the first thing I thought about. It says so much about it because they gave up, like Ruiz might be nothing, but it's the fact that they're trying to plug some holes here because they're not trying to fix Teoscar. They're not trying to fix Conforto. They're trying to fix center field.
Yeah.
And that's what they're really trying to target here with multiple options.
We know this front office, Kevin. We know this front office is going to pick up those kind of dudes either way. That's what Andrew Friedman, I think, honestly, he gets off on picking up random scrap heap dudes that one time had some sort of thing about them. Ruiz definitely feels to me like one of those guys that's just DFA'd. Oh, man, you're born to be a Dodger because a couple years ago you stole 60 bases or whatever.
Can't believe he got on base 60 times.
That'd be sick, though. Honest. Hey, I'm just saying, that'd be sick. You get a guy on base and you're like, he's stealing second and he's stealing third. Like that's sick.
Kev, what are your thoughts on Ruiz? Is he somebody who do you agree with Scott there in that take? Because I'm kind of wishy-washy on agreeing with Scotty there. I think it's more of they just love taking those flyers, and they could because they had a free roster spot they could play with Kyle Hurt going to the 60-day IL, rather than the also obvious lack of belief in James Outman. I don't know that they're mutually exclusive or whatever, but Kev, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if Ruiz sees any major league time, something has gone horribly wrong. I do agree that I think the team, or the organization has lost a lot of faith in James Outman. I think we all lost a lot of faith in James Outman. I know I did when I saw him batting in spring training. Again, I kind of ragged on Pages for the same problems he had last year. Outman did too at the plate. It was just a lot of strike one, strike two. Oh, you're down 0-2, swing over breaking ball for strike three, and grab some pine. So they are looking. I don't think it's Ruiz. If we want to look at his like career numbers, this is a career 82 OPS plus guy, career 641 OPS.
Better than
yes,
me.
He did steal 67 bags, which like good for him. I don't know how he got on base 67 times. This past spring training, not very good, to put it lightly. Slashed 121, 171, 152. It's a lot of ones.
Yeah.
So I don't
with
know
the dot before the one. That's a problem.
Yeah. Depending on the decimal rounding errors and all that. I don't know what they see. Andrew Friedman sees something. I don't know if he has any connection to Ruiz, because Ruiz just played with the Athletics. He was with the Padres for a bit. Padres, Milwaukee. Yeah, so he just never. I don't know.
He's a bounce around dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's say this: if he's picking up playing time for this team, in August or worse, October, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a definite problem unless they find a way to fix him. I doubt.
I think if he picks up time in August, I would like to believe it's because they found something and fixed it. I was gonna say if he picks up time in the very near future, something has gone wrong, because like as they brought him over from Sacramento, he is not a major league player. They're gonna have to do something with him. Maybe down the line they find something in his swing where he can become just this contact king, steal a bag, steal two bags. A bunt is a triple situation.
Hey, Scotty, we got comments in the chat. What is that 10-year anniversary date or that 10-year chip for Chris Taylor? When is the get out of jail free card for the Dodgers?
Let me pull it up. We were at somebody. I got the days. I don't have the exact thing because I asked Jeff Spiegel the other day. Yeah, he looked up the exact day. I think we're at like 129 days from now. I think we're 130 or 129 days away.
That's Sunday, August 10th.
I feel bad.
Right around there. But real quick, I'm not people in chat saying Ruiz. I'm just saying they're just throwing darts. If he's just throwing darts there, it's Ha-Seong Kim putting him out in center field. That was one that threw me for a loop because he had not played any innings in the outfield. We can put a pin in this, the comment about, or the thought about Mookie Betts and changing like positionality there. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about that because Blake Williams and I have had some thoughts about it and a couple other baseball stuff as well. Like I've had a couple different friend groups that have said, well, maybe we should put Tommy Edman back at short. I can tell you why that's not my favorite idea. But I think with Ha-Seong Kim, I think that's an actual opportunity for them to find a spot for him on the major league roster. I think Pages can be a platoon guy, like he can do it, and you'll live with the warts when it's there. But I think somebody said it in chat. I pull it up, but Ha-Seong Kim's trying to win that job. Yeah, Mr. Classic. He's trying to win that job, or the Dodgers want him to win that center field job. I would say so for sure.
Yeah,
go ahead, Kevin.
Definitely. No, definitely. He could be. It's an easy platoon. Like Scott said, the fact that they're even trying it says a lot. With his bat, he brings a lot that the Dodgers don't necessarily already have on the roster with base running. I know somebody earlier had mentioned putting Tommy Edman back in center field and just getting Ha-Seong Kim at second. I don't know if you've watched Tommy Edman play second at all this year, but I don't want him moving at all personally. That is.
We're gonna glaze Tommy, by the way. We're not gonna have Scotty here to not glaze Tommy. We're gonna do that in a second. That's when we button up outfield talk here.
Yeah, I think if Ha-Seong Kim can even sniff average against right-handed pitching alone, like he doesn't have to do it from both sides against both hands of pitchers. If he could just do it against right-handed pitching, I don't see a reason why they don't give him a shot.
A couple of things I would be interested in exploring here, because Scott, you mentioned something around like moving Mookie, and we know that's not going to happen. But what's kind of the basis of that conversation? Where were you guys going with that, and who smoked the most that day?
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, so everybody in chat, it's August 14th. August 14th, whatever you're doing, if you're at Walmart, if you're at Wendy's, just drop to your knees. That's the day. Be on the lookout.
I
Anyway,
saw somebody saying in the chat, by the way, we need the "I Survived Chris Taylor" shirt. So we'll have to make those up and put it on the All Dodgers store whenever that comes to fruition. But anyways,
it's got to be in conversation. That contract's got to be in conversation up there with the McCarthy and Scott Kazmir. I mean, well, I love CT3, but just from like a cost standpoint and what you got out of it, that has to be. Anyways, the conversation with like Tommy Edman, Mookie Betts. Yes, Tommy Edman's been sick at second base. Like he's been filthy. Like his glove work is beautiful. He just looks so good out there. He's just he's a ball player, guys. Yeah. Like flat out, let's say it. So with Mookie Betts, the main issue for him was throwing. It was throwing angles and throwing errors last year at shortstop. So the last thing I really want to do is to put Tommy Edman at a position that Dodgers fans and myself, I don't want to see Tommy Edman come out of shortstop if that's the case. Like then you're going to stick him there for the long haul. And you're going to stop Mookie Betts' development as a major league shortstop and what I think can be a very good major league shortstop. I would prefer to just keep him there for the duration of the season. If it's any longer, cool. If his body's good with it, cool. And by all accounts, it's been great. Glove's been fine. I haven't seen him make any egregious errors. So if you put Tommy Edman there, it takes away from his number one quality, I think, as far as, murdering left-handed pitching. It's being versatile, being able to shift him around. You need a center fielder that day. Do it. Second baseman, shortstop, whatever. I think that keeping Mookie Betts there solves a problem where you can see less Miguel Rojas. You don't have to worry about putting him at shortstop. You don't have to see these kind of issues. Let Tommy Edman cook at second base, center field, and keep that position versatility a thing because that's why he got paid. He is what Chris Taylor was supposed to be when they gave him that extension. And he can switch hit. He's doing it from both sides. I just want to do whatever it takes to keep Tommy Edman freed up. Yeah. And if that means further developing Mookie Betts as a shortstop and what his age, Mookie Betts is 30, 31, 32 now. Age, however, 31, 32 season. I'm all for it. And I never thought I would be at that point. After last year, it was like, let's do right by Mookie Betts and not keep stretching him thin. Because we talked about this. But now he looks comfortable there. He looks great. Mookie Betts is my full-time shortstop, and I'm going to keep it that way. Leave Tommy Edman playing second base, move him to center field if you need to. But Tommy Edman, Mookie Betts up the middle is a thing of beauty.
Kevin, I want to explore this with you for a little bit because we kind of started seeing towards the end of spring training, seeing the writing on the wall with Kim, and this was the other point I wanted to talk about. Kim not going to make the opening day roster. He's not going to be a part of this team. For the betterment of himself and, getting that swing, all those swing changes kind of dialed in. Do we think 5 or 6 games is maybe pulling the plug a little bit too early on the experiment there at OKC to really let those changes and the good feelings hammer in? Or is it good enough now? Let's just call him up while we have an opportunity. What do you think?
He's doing really well at OKC. Yeah. He's got a 910 OPS. It's a small sample size. It's only 22 plate appearances, but that's for somebody who, it's something where they sent him down because he had something to work on. Whatever he needed to work on is working. I don't see why, like I said, they're going to face a couple lefties. You could get Ha-Seong Kim a look. I don't think it would necessarily shoot his confidence at all. If anything, maybe he gains a little bit. Yeah, it's just an up down. And, the organization is just transparent about it. It's like, hey, we're just going to call you up, see what it is. As soon as Freddie's ready, we're sending you back down. Just make the most of this opportunity and see what he does. Like, I don't see why that would hinder his development whatsoever. This isn't like he's like, scuffling in the mid 700s. This is a 910 OPS. That's like a real number. And I know the PCL league, PCL is a hitter friendly environment. Sure. But this is somebody that, like, let's be real. In spring training, we didn't think this guy could sniff 900 OPS in any league.
He could barely sniff 95 mile an hour fastball, let alone a 910 OPS.
Yeah, and I got a point. I got a point for Clint too. You were out there and speaking of the PCL and in reference to what Ha-Seong Kim, like I would be irked if we saw him hitting homers. Like that would be something I'd be like, okay, wait a minute. This is, it's not up his alley. People are all concerned with, he's not going to hit for power. He's not going to hit for power. He's doing it with his legs. We're talking about doubles. I think he's got a triple sprinkled in there. Like get him on base. I was most concerned in what we saw with, a good comp, it's Ha-Seong Kim. and looking there as far as like the strikeout numbers and just not getting blown down by minor league pitching. I know it's AAA, whatever. There's a jump when you step into Major League Baseball, sure. But if that strikeout rate just exploded the second he got into, came over to the major leagues, got into the minor league system, wherever, it just hasn't. It stayed, sub 20% here. If his walk rate stays good, he's getting on base. That's all you need. It provides, my biggest point with Kim was that he brings a breath of fresh air to an offense that has a lot of slug, that doesn't have a lot of guys. We do have people who can steal bases. They just don't do it with everybody. Yeah. But with Kim, do your best to get him on base. Try to tell him, hey, let's keep the strikeout numbers down. Let's see if we can keep that walk rate in a good spot where you can use your legs. And he's putting the ball in play, and he's put it in the outfield. Let's use your legs. Let's get you on second base, get you on first base. Hell, he hits this down the line. This is a triple threat all the time. So he is, if he's continues on this path, and I agree with Kevin, that from what I see right there, those are early returns where I think that's something he can sustain. I really do. I really do. So I love this. This is a great 5-game stretch for him so far. Keep it up. And I enjoyed what you said. I hadn't thought about it that way, that this could be a good cup of coffee for him and bring him up and have a plan saying, we're going to bring you up for this stretch. When we do have that roster spot in the future, barring any other injuries, that Chris Taylor date, hopefully it's before then, but maybe we'll have a longer leash for you. And I love this because the Dodgers do have these plans. So I appreciate you bringing that up. That's something that I'm gonna keep a pin in my head that this is a good plan for him.
It's funny we're saying all these things, man. It's still so early in the season. Dodgers have played 8 big league games. 2 of them don't even feel real because they happen at 3 a.m. in Tokyo. But we're already talking about how bad the center field situation is, and oh my God, what are they going to do? They have some options. Nobody really makes a lot of sense. Guys, it's still early. We're going to have some fun with it. We got a lot of things to still sort out for this team. And if we didn't have questions, I would be a very, very bored podcaster here on the YouTube machine. Mentioned it being early. I do want to talk about some of the Dodgers being pretty dang good before we spin forward and move to the next part of the show. I do want to kind of plug us here a little bit on the channel, guys. I've said it a few times, push the button a couple of times, hit that like button if you're enjoying us chatting with our buddy Scotty Geirman, myself, Kevin, and all that kind of stuff. We'd appreciate it if you hit the like button, appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We also have Patreon and YouTube members set up where if you're looking for a different way to support the show money-wise, financially, it's $5 a month, and with that you also get access to our Discord server where we're talking Dodger baseball. We're talking about the Dodgers all day long amongst a good group of fans here, smart group of fans on the internet machine. We'll say mostly smart group of fans because, I'm in there. Hey, that's a self-burn. But do check that out. We also have the voicemail hotline opened up, 562-373-4095. We got meetups that happen through the Discord, but you need to be signed up on the Discord. So do check that out if you don't mind. That's my plug for that. And now let's move on. Let's talk about some of the good things we've seen so far with this team, because if your team is 8-0, good things are happening. Not every number, not every stat on that roster is pretty, is sexy, but some dudes are showing up, showing out. Early standouts. Scott, the floor is going to be yours if you want to blow your load early here in this part of the show to talk about Thomas Edman further. We've already talked a little bit around Tommy Tanks, Tommy frickin' Edman if you're nasty, but listen, I didn't have this in on my bingo card. I didn't have him leading the team in homers. I didn't have. I mean, we knew the defense was there. We knew he's a ball player. I'll give you the fact that he's a ball player, and ball knowers know ball players. But I didn't see this version of Tommy Edman showing up and being somebody who's hitting cleanup, hitting third, hitting sixth for this team, and fucking killing it. But Tommy Edman, the real deal, man. What's up here?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Matty Man, BC, everybody, man. Mike, good to see you guys. So with Tommy Edman, we could talk for the rest of the show about this, but Mr. Tom Edman, guys, is absolutely raking on all fronts. And I joke all the time, ball knowers knew. I went on the on the Bleed Lows pod, and right before they asked me for like a bold prediction, I said 2020 season for Tommy Edman. And I didn't think it was so crazy. Like, he gets enough opportunities there. He gets power from the right-hand side. And I heard the chatter. We all did about how we saw some spots where Tommy Edman would eliminate his switch hitting stuff. It hit exclusively right-handed, but him against as a lefty is just absurd. He's got 2 tanks as a lefty, 2 tanks as a righty, and he's just seeing the ball so well. He credited Mookie Betts last year when they were both on their rehab process to the season. Mookie Betts building back up himself, Tommy Edman getting himself prepared from injury. Also, Mookie Betts was in there working, and Mookie Betts shed some light on some things, and Dodgers fans got to see it. Tommy Edman carried him in the NLCS. I'm a big believer about this, and Dodgers fans are used to this. We see it all the time. Clint, Kevin, you guys will probably both agree on different fronts that playoff success and having sustained success throughout an entire postseason indicates, maybe a switch was flipped. And I think for a guy like Tommy Edman having essentially like a Daniel Murphy type of run, not on that level, but he killed it. He kicked ass. That spells a lot of great things for the future. And it said a lot about what Tommy Edman can be. I know we've been giving Blake Williams and Jeff Spiegel hell about how they called Tommy Edman mid. They just said they wasn't going to be, high expectations guy. But I knew damn well from what we saw in the postseason, he was better than, his career OPS or his career WRC plus said. I just flat out did. You see those changes happen, and they happen in a bottle. They happen on the big stage against the best talent. Ball knowers knew that Tommy Edman was going to kick ass. So that's what we're seeing right now. Thank you. I appreciate it. I needed to get this off my chest. It's been bottled up for like a week.
We gave some love to Tommy on Monday, Kev. He hasn't done anything to take that away from us. Take that good feeling.
If the only thing is he's added to it, he hit another home run from the left-hand side, and that's really I expected mid. I know, Blake and Jeff want to say mid, but I think mid was the term I would have used simply because I thought he would have been exceptional from the right-handed side and then like okay from the left-handed side. And then you kind of like the median there is just kind of like he'd just be like average. Like it just like you combine the two, it's average. The production from the left-handed side of the plate is really what has elevated Tommy Edmonds in my mind. And just from what we've seen, like, early in the season, I was like, okay, if he keeps struggling from the left-handed side, like Scott said, there's a chance maybe the Dodgers approach him and say, hey, maybe you should only you stick with your right-handed swing against both hands of pitchers. I don't think that's the case right now. If he keeps this up, there's no reason to. Like, it's power, but it's a good at bat as well. It looks clean. He's just locked in. He's dialed at the plate. And seeing him at second base, I think it's just, you get enough years of like rotating second baseman that you're just kind of journeyman guys. Chase Utley's at the end of his career. And then you get like a bona fide like second baseman. And you're like, oh my God, this is what we've been missing all this time.
Tom.
It's a little bit different having this kind of dude. And I agree. After seeing him at second base, make some of those plays this week, particularly that entire ninth inning sequence in that what was eventually a Dodger win. I was just, they've all been Dodgers wins. I was like, okay, no, all right, this is why they're moving somebody like Ha-Seong Kim around, because Kim is also supposed to be this great defensive second baseman, but they want him to play everywhere else, kind of but second. There's a reason they traded away somebody like Gavin Lux. Tommy Edman is him, and I could understand where people would kind of have the mid narrative, because you look at the numbers, the career numbers before, they weren't quite up to this, but there's just something special about putting that Dodger uni on, as I think our boy Scotty froze again. I don't know what's going on there. We gotta get a super chat for his internet over there. It's all good. We did. By the way, we did apparently, as I die a little bit here, miss a super chat from our buddy Richie Flores. My bad, Richie. He said Dodgers announced that salad bars and shower tubs are off limits to pitchers and position players, and F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Appreciate Richie chiming in there with the super chat. Listen,
George,
go ahead.
George says comeback Lux. I don't know if he's watched any Gavin Lux recently.
Bro, seeing Gavin Lux in left field again, I don't like that, man. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good look. Nobody told the Reds. Nobody told the Reds. Hey, but there's not just listen, if this is going to be Scotty's kind of victory lap tour or whatever today, Got to also talk about Benny Caps, man. Casper looking real good to open the season. Another boy I really love, Anthony Bonda, this season, taking big strides here in year 2. Did we think this bullpen without, opening the season without Phillips and without Michael Kopech, did we think they were going to be this good?
I would say so. Like, I mean, yeah, they had the options. Like, we're talking day to day. You don't know if is Kirby Yates he's gonna pitch today. Kirby Yates is disgusting, man. Like, it's crazy. I mean, the Dodgers, expose teams who just refuse to sign incredibly talented players, and it's just funny to me that guess what? Players are working out. Incredibly talented players are performing at just amazing rates. So guys like Kirby Yates and Ben Kasparius essentially is the Michael Grove role. And we're talking about a player in Benny Caps that, I haven't been shy on my affinity for Ben Kasparius, but all the metrics back him up. All the players have flat out said, they've been asked, who is the best stuff on the team? It's Benny Caps. They've said in unison, a lot of them, Ben Kasparius, and we can see it. So you're replacing, Ben Kasparius, who can pitch in high leverage spots once he gets more seasoning. I'm not going to say he could do it now because he does need some more time. Ben Kasparius has absolutely disgusting stuff. Metrics back it up there. But, Clint, we're talking Blake Trinan can come in. It seems like he's pitching every night. That's just the type of impact that he has. He's got a rubber arm here. And Tanner Scott worked through his stuff here. I've got a buddy who's, works, exclusively with a lot of this data here. And I've looked into, Tanner Scott's trends over the last few seasons. This reminds me of what happened in 2023. He had this slow buildup here for an entire month, and that's where a lot of this down stuff happened. But you can still see the pedigree. You can see the talent. I just want them to give him the bulk of the ninth inning opportunities here and let Kirby Yates be the best high leverage second fireman or number one fireman alongside Blake Trinan the game has ever seen. How do you mix and match these three guys? Like, how do you do this? Like, it's just too much.
I know Kirby Yates will never know who I am, but I will owe that guy an apology forever because I straight up forgot he was on the roster in the offseason.
No way.
With all of the signings, I get it.
Forgot. I was like, oh, who else is there? Oh yeah, Kirby Yates. Like days later, my God, that Splitty is just absolutely disgusting. He is so much fun to watch pitch. And to your question, Clint, yeah, I thought they'd be this good when the worst pitcher you've got here is Luis Garcia.
Veteran
guy, but that everybody else that comes out of this bullpen, maybe not household names. Like I think if you ask the average baseball player who Alex Vesia is, they probably don't know him. Or Anthony Bonda, but these dudes would be high leverage arms on 29 other clubs. And they're just chilling in this bullpen. It's ridiculous.
What's funny, I was thinking that. I had that feeling watching Raisel Iglesias come in for the Braves yesterday, blow the game. They're trying to get him to pick up a 5-out save. I'm just like the
Crazy.
Dodgers have 6 dudes they can throw in, and we feel comfortable with them in the ninth inning. Even Jack Dreyer. We haven't given enough love here to Jack Dreyer, who making the most of his opportunity right now. He's probably not going to be long for this roster when we get to getting Kopech and Phillips back, because eventually the numbers just make sense. They're going to need somebody to take some spots for those dudes. But Dreyer can pick up a save. Vesia has picked up saves. Blake Trinan, Tanner Scott, you mentioned, it's kind of been the worst pitcher so far, but it's part of the process. It's all part of the process. Yeah. Ben Kasparius, he started a game for the Dodgers in the World Series and got better somehow in the offseason. And they had their dude trying to win their first game of the season for them or whatever, trying to pick up a 5-out save and at the end of the first full week of their season. I'm just like, people used to live like that. We used to live like that.
We had Kenley Jansen doing that, and he was the only guy that we wanted doing that.
Hey,
It wasn't that long ago.
listen, we're talking a lot about bullpen. We got to talk some starting pitching a little bit. We got some probables lined up for this Philly series coming up. We should talk about that just a hair. Yamamoto getting the ball tomorrow for a stupid Apple TV game. Not looking forward to that.
No, it is. Oh,
Yeah, facing
God.
Jesus Luzardo, but Yamamoto. That's my preseason pick. That's my Cy Young guy right there. I don't know if everybody else believes me in that. I think it's also going to be pretty difficult with all the talent this team has around it and talent around the league. But Yama, so far, being an ace. Sasaki's going to get a ball. We should probably talk Sasaki a little bit. Glasnow also starts in this series. I guess I'm just throwing names out here to eventually get to the point. In the rotation, Scott, who has impressed you the most? And again, small sample size here, but who has impressed you the most starting rotation-wise?
I mean, I'm just gonna say Yamamoto. I'm just gonna say Yamamoto immediately. Blake Snell had a game, and that's the ultimate Blake Snell experience. I said he was going to be the horse. I still believe that, but I would say Yamamoto just from a standpoint that he's a small dude, but he's got that demeanor and that dog to be a flat out like a bona fide ace, to be a workhorse where you say we need a start, you got to get it. He has the mentality and the stuff to go out and back it up. I thoroughly believe that. I really do. He looks like he can take a punch and go out there and maintain his the quality of stuff from inning to inning, and that's something that I don't think I knew how good he was just based on the accolades before coming over to the Dodgers. But I would say just from what we saw persevering through injury last year, going into the offseason here, you add on to the starting pitching. Yamamoto was paid can be the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. And I think he's continuing to further his game here. And he looks like it. He doesn't give a shit who's standing in the batter's box. He's got Splitty. He's got the fastball that he's working. He's just continuing to get better. And he's impressing me. And he's been doing it all along. So,
yeah, it's
left-handed batters.
It's one of those things that, like, we also know this team has been missing in years past. Like, imagine having one more of these dudes on a team, like alongside Kershaw and Greinke a number of years ago, if Greinke can cover third base and all this kind of stuff. If they had one more pitcher then, or one more pitcher in 2018 or 19 or in 21 or whatever, they said they got tired. The front office got tired of not having enough starting pitching, and they went out and got the best available dude with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And right away, like, that's my guy. That is my dog. I want him on bump day when you need that win. That's the angry win guy. That's the stop the bleeding guy. That's my dude. Kev, would you say your dude is kind of Tyler Glasnow a little bit?
Not like yes, but honestly, the guy that's impressed me the most was Dustin May. I know it was only one start.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
That was a ton of fun. The stuff plays, it's disgusting. He's throwing frisbees. His arm slot, it looks like his arm slot, the motion looks better. I love a guy phrasing who
somebody clip that.
Exactly. Pause for dramatic effect. I love that he's sitting 95 to 96, 97, but we know he can dip back and reach back and give 99. Like, I think that
feels to me like something we've wanted out of Dustin May for years. Tone it back. I mean, you guys are more numbers guys and looking at the metrics than I am. How much nastier, just perceptively, is that slider sweeper than what we've seen in the past? It's disgusting.
It's got he I think he took a mile an hour off it to just give it a little bit more depth, if I remember correctly, after I looked after his start. But the reason I brought him up is because that's what I think about Tyler Glasnow in his start was he was sitting in that 95 zone, 95, 96 area, but we know he can reach back and touch 99 to 100. And that's something that Dustin May's doing, and I think that's just going to make him a better pitcher. Like, hey, man, just let your stuff play. Like, you don't have to blow the doors off everybody. Yeah. You're throwing stuff with some of the grossest movement that starting pitcher throws. This is stuff that like high leverage relief. This is what like we see out of Blake Trinan, but he's throwing it as a starting pitcher for 5, 6, whatever innings they're going to let him pitch. So Dustin May has 100% blew me away. And I just hope he continues to build off it and just We saw the strikeout rate, the swing and miss was up. I just want to see more of that because it'll be the feel good story of the season without a doubt.
Yeah.
If he like exits the season with like a low 3s ERA after everything he's gone through.
I love this. I love this comment from Dong Kim. D-May pitching like a guy who got a second chance at life.
Yeah.
Quite literally. I don't want to have the show go too long because I know Scotty G semi-retired from talking ball online for a reason. But Scott, you're here, and I haven't had your thoughts on the first couple of starts for Roki Sasaki so far. What's the impression that you've got?
A very raw prospect, and I can speak kind of for everybody that I know some people had some thoughts. Jonathan Lucroy, you suck, man.
Dick.
You absolutely the worst type of to come after Roki Sasaki like that. Like that's some loser mentality stuff. Like we're talking about a young prospect here. This is a kid. I know he's pitched professionally before coming over, but give it up, man. Absolutely give it up. But Roki Sasaki's a passionate player. He's in a playing with a lot of expectation. I believe in what Roki Sasaki's got flat out, and that's not hard to do. But it's just that he's a very raw prospect, and there's no better place for him to be. So I think that he's going to definitely, mature over the next few weeks here. He's in a great spot. MVPs all around him, top-end starting pitchers to help him through this. Players who have been there, done that, gone through a plethora of injuries themselves, been at the lowest of the low points. So give him some time, give him some grace. The stuff is still filthy. He's just going to have to learn to hone it in and not let the moment become too big for him ever, because he's here for a good bit of time. I'm impressed with him just being present, and that's what I like. I like emotion from my baseball players on my favorite team and players I cover. It means they give a shit. It truly does, and I'm all about that. So, yeah. Circle back about Dustin May in a minute. I got something I'll tell you, but I want Kevin or you to add on to Roki Sasaki for a sec.
Yeah, Roki, for me, I've said it a few times. I need to see, at this point, give me 5 more starts, see what he can do after kind of the nerves start to wear down a little bit or die down a little bit right now. This is a dude who came over here with a lot of fanfare, with a lot of headlines. Last couple of years, being a headline generator of being the dude who's like, hey, I want to go to Major League Baseball. My team isn't letting me. I'm demanding that they let me go now, and I'm costing my team millions of dollars. Like that's just one pile of the story. And also, trying to get the velocity back, and there's just all of this pile of weights on his shoulders that make it baseball's difficult enough as it is, let alone all of that while you're being a 23-year-old kid. His history with the, obviously the unfortunate loss of his family, devastation in his young life, having this goal, this mission, and finally getting here. And then I wouldn't say the walls are closing in, but baseball moves a lot quicker probably in the States than it does in Japan. So like he just needs a little bit of time. And then we're going to see really if that stuff can play, because like some of the stuff we've seen, Kevin and I were talking about it after his last start, like a lot of the arm side miss, that's nerves, that's mechanics, that'll get there. If you start to land that fastball, all of a sudden the split finger is something. But right now it just feels to me like what we saw Gavin Stone doing a couple years ago. Everybody knows you got this nasty pitch that you can't land for a strike. Yeah, when they swing at it, it's been filthy. But if you're not landing strikes otherwise, they're not going to swing at it. That's kind of my thoughts. Kevin, anything you want to add?
No, I like what Scotty said about, liking when players show emotion. It kind of piggybacks, we're having some discussion on Discord or when Snell was pitching, how he was kind of getting annoyed. I like that he's getting annoyed. If he's getting annoyed because, Andy Paz is booting balls or Max Muncy's booting balls and Andy Paz is missing stuff in center field, like keep him accountable a little bit. Like this team has enough guys that just kind of go about their business. I love somebody that's going to show some emotion. And in Japan, that's like very, very, like that's something that's promoted. That just shows that you give a damn about the sport. And, he's in a privileged position to play Major League Baseball for a living. And I like that he takes that very, very seriously. And at the same time, I also like that Doc brought him out of the tunnel and said, hey, like, I get it. You're in a tough spot. This is about the team too. And I think that's just something that's going to help. And, that's something that he gets coming over from Japan, that it's about the team, but he wants to know that we're here for you. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to kind of go into a corner. You can hang out with us on the route for your teammates, and we got your back. And I love that. I don't know if I'd give him 5 more starts. I think a couple more, if he's still showing like the same stuff that he's shown in his first 2 starts, maybe they, stash him at AAA for a little bit, let him work on some stuff away from the bright lights, but got to give him some time. I said this on Monday. Like, I viewed him as a prospect. I didn't think he was a polished product. He isn't Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And this was within the realm of possibilities for me. Got to give him some time. And and whoever was dogging on him for showing emotion, just go touch grass. Call your mom. I don't know.
Well, one of the things I'll say, I'm glad that for Roki's sake, he's with the Dodgers, because, bringing up that fact, Dave pulling him from the tunnel, like, no, come out here, wear your emotions out here, be with your boys. They are going to have your back as much, as they can down the road. That's the type of stuff that other organizations, I don't think they do it the same way. I think this team is just such a perfectly well-oiled machine now when it comes to taking any sort of adversity thrown their way and being able to deal with it like as a group. I mean, we saw the ultimate version of that last year with Freddie and his family, how much they were able to rally around him, and then the fans rally around. I guess I'll button with saying, F you, Jonathan Lucroy, you're a bitch. But I guess that's all I should say about that one. Before we do get out of here, I've put out a call for a couple of voicemails, and we did get one. Somebody wanted to share some love for Scotty, missing you on the regular chat. So this is our buddy Noah Ortega, who sent us an updated voicemail, thankfully. He sent one earlier where maybe he went a little off the rails a little bit, but this one is fun. We'll play this, and then we'll let you get out of here, Scott. So this is Noah, as you know.
Well, guys, it's Noah, as you know, and I gotta say, guys, we are living the golden age of Dodger baseball. It is amazing. Every game we see and are going to see have been and will be amazing. You can't miss a game. And when we're behind by 5 runs, you can't miss it. We're probably going to win somehow. That's what's amazing about this team, guys. We're never out of it. Honestly, we got to watch every single game we can. We got to appreciate every moment we do have, because we may never experience this again. Our team is like stacked and ready to go back to back to back. We got all the pieces we need. We just need to be healthy. And honestly, guys, we still have freaking 9 years of Shohei Ohtani, so we're barely just getting even started. Anyways, I know you're there, Scott. Love you, bro. I miss hearing you all the time. Miss your dynamic between you and Blake. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you're doing well. But any other than that, though, guys, as you know the drill, I'm in public, so I can't say it. So, blank the Dodger Stadium parking lot, blank Fernando Tatis, blank Man Machado, and for love of God, blank the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Noah Ortega calling in, give him some love. We appreciate that. We also got Richie. Richie had a number of things to say, so I don't know how much time you got, Scott, but probably we'll let you go, and then Kevin and I will listen to Richie, and then we can go from there. But otherwise, any final thoughts before you get out of here? Hey, we got $2 super chat from I Don't Care. Says, miss you, Scotty G. Appreciate the support from Don't Care 187 on the chat.
Just a couple things just to put a pin, wrap up thoughts on Dustin May so everybody can kind of understand some things real fast before I lose it. Dustin May is throwing from a lower arm slot right now. Yes. So if that's something that you haven't noticed, just take a look. He's throwing from a lower arm slot. Sweeper usage is up through the charts here, and he's getting more arm side run on that sinker. So he's working very east and west. That's just the nerd in me having to wrap that up here. I had to say that. But quick shout out to Mookie Betts. Fuck all the haters, all the people that wanted to just, doubt Mookie Betts. I never go off the rails. I have to, fuck all the haters about Mookie Betts, that they don't understand that you can't lose that type of weight and have it stay off in like a week and a half. So everybody needs to stop acting like they know about the human body. Mookie's a dog. Stop doubting a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's just insane, man. That personally pissed me off because it was just people just yapping for no reason, absolutely no reason. So I appreciate you guys, Clint, Kevin. Love being on here. I'm still around, man. Let's keep chatting. Let's keep yapping. Undefeated start so far. So let's gear in. We got
going.
62-0, baby.
We'll talk soon, boys. Appreciate you
I
both.
like that.
Yeah.
I'd be stroking says, I like this Scott. We love all versions of Scotty Geirman, guys. Give him a follow on the Twitter. He's still active there, and he's more free than ever, I guess we could say, to say whatever he wants. But we'll get you on here more, bud, and always appreciate talking to you, man.
Later, guys. Appreciate you all. Take care.
Take it easy. Hey, that's a lot of fun. Anytime we get a chance to talk to our boy there. Obviously he's a family man. It is later on in the evening, so we don't want to hold him up for too much beyond an hour there. It's about time to end the show anyways, but I do want to make sure we listen to our buddy Richie Flores, because I think that's only fair. If Richie's calling into the show, it's got to be something good. And we know Richie's always got something good. So let's listen to Richie real quick, see what he has to say, and then we'll consider hitting the wrap it up button.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy whenever you're going to play this voicemail day to you. So let's take a look at last night's game, shall we? In particular, Max Muncy's last at-bat that tied up the game. For the first 2 or 3 at-bats, he was using the torpedo bat. And finally, he said, fuck it. He went back to his old school silver bat, went up there, and essentially got a pitch he can drive. He threw his hands out there, he went with the pitch, and he drove it into the gap, old school baseball, which is the only baseball for me, and he tied the game. And he did it without the torpedo bat. Here's my point. Hank Aaron hit 755 home runs and never once used batting gloves or pine tar, meaning that it's your skill set, your ability to hone in on your craft, your ability to drive the ball with your eye and with your eye-hand coordination, your ability of working in the cage day after day. It's nothing fucking torpedo bat or anything else. It's your flat out what's in your mind, your mental toughness, and how dedicated you are to sharpening your skills. That's what got the job done last night, period. And here's another thing. How does Andy Pajes come up with new and amazing ways to fuck up? I know he's still learning center field, and he is a great talent, and he will have a bright future in this game. But the guy is unpredictable. The guy is essentially like a cat walking through a middle of a wedding shot. You know that meme, right? Being cat bombed. And the guy just is not an intelligent base runner. He never picks up Dino rounding third. He always runs with his head down, and it's just stupid shit like that just drives me crazy. But at the end of the day, the Dodgers fell into a bucket of shit, and we came out smelling like a rose because we have that kind of a talent to make up for the horse shit play that started out the game, period. So, with that being said, fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck Tatis, and we'll throw in Paul Farr as well. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Our buddy Richie Flores calling in there. Yeah, we talked about the torpedo bats a couple shows ago. Well, I guess earlier this week, and yeah, I agree. It's another sort of like, it's like golf. There's always some sort of gimmick thing to try to fix your swing or whatever. Just fix your swing, or to make you a better golfer. You become a better golfer when you fix your swing. Become a better baseball player when you learn how to hit a baseball better. Not having. I loved Max talking about it after the game last night. He's like, the weight distributions is weird, and it was almost poetic that he went back to his old bat and hit it where that part of the bat is missing. That's just beautiful.
Yeah. It's always gonna be something. I use it, don't care. It's not that big a deal. Maybe the Brewers pitching just sucks. I don't know. It might work. Yeah, maybe the Yankees still have a short porch, and Anthony Volpe keeps hitting home runs that are exactly 1 foot longer than that porch. I do think it is really funny that he went back to the old bat and just immediately smoked.
I knew that was going to happen.
Double. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for everybody who's wondering, Max is like actually historically a slow starter. He bats somewhere in like the mid 700s OPS in April and March. I don't know why he reversed the order of the months, and then he heats up in like May, June, July. So like he's starting off slow. It's what he does. He is a tinkerer, though. We know that he always is trying to find ways to improve. So it's not surprising that he wanted to at least try. And I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps trying it, because that's just what he is. It's who he is as a baseball player. And honestly, good for him.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not selling my Max Muncy stock yet. People in the chat yesterday in Discord, I mean, pretty quickly we started seeing some Nolan Arenado. When's Nolan coming to LA? What's going on here? It's like,
No,
Max is going to be the
it.
guy. And if it's not Max, it's going to be somebody like Kike down the road. Like we had our bold takes on Monday. I'm not all the way, I'm selling the fair amount of stock on Max Muncy, but I never have a lot of stock to begin with. I have a lot of stock on everybody else. Max Muncy's just got to do his role. He still should be platooned. He is not good against left-handed pitching. I think that's what it's eventually going to be. Yeah. But that's another whole conversation. And guys, it's already a long show. If you guys want more baseball talk, our buddy Jeff Snyder and Vince Samperio are going live on Locked On Dodgers right after us. So go check them out. Subscribe. Make sure you leave in the comments that you don't like that other dude who's doing the postcast show on their channel for some reason. That channel belongs to Jeff and Vince. It doesn't belong to the other dude. But that's just me speaking out of place there, out of fairness, because I believe people that subscribe to YouTube channels for their creators want to see the creators they subscribe for, not other random people showing up on the channel. Like with this guy. We soft played you. It took you a long time, and now you in the kitchen are a beloved character here on the internet.
I love I know. It's not going anywhere, and much to people's chagrin.
So, guys, hit the thumbs up for Kevin and his kitchen. Subscribe for Kevin and his kitchen. Still trying to get him to do more content on his own without me needing to push him. So there's some playful public bullying for you all. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments, your questions, hanging out with us, and for Scott joining the show. It's always fun talking ball with Scott. I woke up this morning. I had a taste in my mouth, phrasing, and I was like, you know what? That taste is wanting to talk ball with Scotty G. So give him some love as well on the internet machine. Thank you to our channel supporters who support us on Patreon, who support us on YouTube, members as well. You are awesome. You really do help the show out a whole bunch. And if you're looking for a different way to support the show, check it out. Links are in the description. Patreon.com/RealFRG. You click the join button here on YouTube. It'll tell you all the stuff there. I don't need to tell you again. But shout out to our mods for doing a kick-ass job. That is producer Kevin. Give him a follow at Skinner7Kevin on the Twitter. He'd appreciate it. Twitter. He would appreciate it. Give me a follow, Real FRG, on all the social media things, or don't, whatever. Follow us here. This is the best place to watch us. But that's about it. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.